back. No one who was on campus on the night of February 13, 2023 will ever forget where they were when they heard the news. That night, a lone gunman opened fire on campus, killing 3 students and injuring 5 others. This week being the 1-year anniversary, we take a look back.
I kind of expected that if something big happened, we would probably create a special collection on it. I just never imagined that it would actually happen to our university.
MSU February 13th is now a special collection that lives on the Michigan Diaries Project website, containing audio diaries documenting the feelings and experiences people had related to the violence.
We started getting diary entries immediately, like the night of, from diarists across the state, kind of sharing their well wishes and their horror.
All night, I could just hear the sirens. And I could hear the helicopters flying overhead.
And just their reactions.
There were some stories from people on campus who felt like survivors' guilt and felt guilty that they survived this, even though none of us knew.
As the year went on, the team was able to witness the community start to heal as the entries started to drift away from the violence.
It's been remarkable to me, especially looking at our students, to see how they have overcome the incredibly hard events of last spring.
A year later, and some of the diaries on the website now include reflection of feelings, how things are going on campus.
For the most part, I think things have kind of gone back to normal.
And what someone might be doing on the anniversary.
I'm going home because, as much as I love the community here, mentally, I'm at that point where I know I'll need a break.
They say time heals all wounds, and as the anniversary comes and goes, the Michigan Diaries Project is hoping to continue to be a part of the healing process for the Spartan community.
It's not a mental health oriented project. We're just people that have a way to let people talk about things and tell their stories if they want to.
Reporting in East Lansing, I'm Colin Jankowski, Fox 47 News.
While the shooting ripped the Michigan State community apart, it also brought it closer together and in many ways made it stronger. There are several examples of sporting events bringing a community together after tragedy, and such was the case last year as an emotionally wounded Spartan squad made the trek to Ann Arbor and began the healing process against their in-state rivals.
It's one of those things that you kind of remember where you were when you first heard it. It makes you kind of realize how there's so many more important things in life than maybe what we do.
The campus shooting shocked the entire Michigan State community to its core, including men's basketball coach Tom Izzo. However, 2 days after the horror of that night, the Hall of Famer had a much more uplifting and life-changing experience at the vigil for the victims.
I've been here through some incredible experiences. Parades with a couple 100,000 people, but walking out in front of the number of people, looking over and seeing something that was amazing to me. I met a 91-year-old woman, and I talked to a 12-year-old boy. I saw white people, black people, Hispanic people, Korean people. I saw every nationality. It just made me appreciate that if we all work together, and we all help each other, we'll be a better university, we'll be a better city, will be a better state, and will be a better country.
However, Izzo wasn't just a spectator as he served as one of the rocks for the campus in its hour of need.
My battle cry, it wasn't a motivational speech. It was different for me. It was all about everybody helping each other get through tough times. And I think that could be used every day of our lives, whether it's your family, personally, people that are Spartan family, or whether it's our country. A lot of people ask me, well, it's not the head coach's job to speak. There's certain things you get to do in this job that are burdens, that are problems, that you say, God, I wish I didn't have to do that. And then there's certain things you get to do in this job that's a privilege and an honor. That day, as I look back, it was an honor.
2 days later, Izzo took his squad into the usually hostile Chrysler Center and got an unusual welcome from the empathetic Ann Arbor crowd.
You could tell when you were there that it was sincere and from their heart. Because I think everybody needs a wake-up call once in a while to know there are bigger things than the rivalry. Why do we always need a tragedy to bring us together? And that proved the point. The tragedy brought 2 hated rivalries together. Still got to hate your rival, but or I think I've changed. Respecting your rival is what you need to do. That was respect they showed for us.
And despite the eventual loss to the Wolverines, it was a cathartic night for the Spartans and their fans.
It meant a big deal just because we were able to be a distraction. We were able to kind of like just give people a minute to think about something else. Even though we didn't win the game, I think even just being able to help people in a sort of sense, even if you didn't get help from us playing a basketball game, in the big picture, the basketball game doesn't matter. But I mean, as long as we could help in any sort of little way that we could, as far as like giving a distraction or just giving people something else to think about, I'm just grateful for that opportunity. I'm grateful that we could be the people that were able to do that.
Michigan State senior forward Malik Hall spoke for all Spartans when he reflected on the victims of that tragic night.
I just want better for the world, but I also want them to know that like they're not alone. And even because time's passed and people continue to go on with their lives, doesn't mean we forgot what happened, and it doesn't mean that we aren't still with them. So I just want the people that were involved in it and the people that are going through different emotions as the anniversary comes around to know that we're all still here for them.
Now it's time for another timeout, but when we return, we'll get back to the matter at hand.
I'll sit down with a man who has seen it all in this glorious grudge match. Longtime Michigan State sports writer Jack Ebling. Stay with us.